Ann will call the meeting to order. And then somebody from the council will have to ask for an amendment to the agenda to elect one of you to run the meeting. And then when that comes to that part, nominations can be made, and then you have to vote on who is gonna run the meeting. And vote on it.
Okay, let's call this meeting of a special meeting of October 2nd, 2025 to order. All stand for the pledge to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Hillman, Councilmember Becker, Councilmember Howard,
Yep.
Councilmember Flowey, Councilmember Kangas,
Here.
Councilmember Dietz, here, Councilmember Ganavate.
Here.
I'll need a approval of the agenda, or do you wanna make a motion
A
to?
motion to amend the agenda to pick a mayor pro tem for his meeting.
Second,
Yeah, I'll support.
Becker. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I assume that's the, is it the next item then?
Yes. So we need a nomination for a mayor pro tem.
I'd like to nominate Councilmember Kangas.
I'll second that.
Okay, a nomination for Councilmember Kangas, seconded by Howard. Any discussion on that?
He's been there before.
Matt, or Mr. Councilmember Howard, I'm
We
sorry.
just got,
Just gotta get it done.
Yeah. All in favor say aye.
aye.
Opposed? Motion carries for Councilmember Kangas.
No problem.
Okay, I guess, with the approval of agenda. Okay, public comment. So there's no here, so. No one in public comment, so we move forward to number 6, 2026 budget work session. So, city manager, you want
Sure. So tonight, we're gonna go over the capital improvements that are proposed for the budget. And then we're gonna go over the city fee schedule. We will not be going over the full budget because the budget you have currently is an older version of the one you'll be getting next week. I do apologize, I've been sick for about 16 days in a row and off of work for about 2.5, so unfortunately, those numbers were not submitted to you in the time that I would like you to have them, which was today. In addition to that, there may be some changes coming from the state of Michigan regarding some road funding, which should substantially increase our road funding, we hope. So we're hoping we'll see something from them in the next 2 weeks that'll reflect that. If not, at least by the time we do pass our budget in November. So our next work session, and can you remind me what day that is?
That's the October 16th.
Yeah, so you'll be getting an updated version of your budgets next week. If you have questions on them in the meantime, you can go ahead and contact my office, I'll be glad to answer your questions. Or you can mark down in your budget for when we come to the next budget session to talk about any questions you may have concerning that proposed budget.
If I may.
Yes,
On tomorrow, you'll get a packet for your regular meeting. On Tuesday, when you get your supplemental packet, I'm gonna put the agenda for the 16th in there with any updates. So that essentially you'll have 2 in there, okay? Just so you guys know to look for it. I won't be sending out another one then the following Friday. It'll all just come on Tuesday, if everyone's good with that.
I have a question. Are we having a budget meeting are we having a meeting every week this?
Yep, your calendar was handed out, the beginning of July.
Okay,
A couple times I've given it,
sorry.
it's okay, it's a lot.
So
I get it.
typically we do, but we don't always have that meeting unless it's called. So next week, no budget meeting.
Okay.
16th, yes.
But we have our
Yes.
regular council.
You do have your regular council meeting, yeah.
Yes, because then the
This is a
public
special
hearing,
meeting.
Okay,
and then it's set aside for every Thursday of the month, but if you don't need it, you don't have to
okay,
Yeah.
do it.
You'll be informed if that meeting will carry on.
okay,
But the 16th for sure.
okay.
All right, well, with that said, we go into the capital improvement plan. This is the plan that we adopt and change every year. It matches to your budget that you have to some extent right now, but clearly in the one you're gonna be getting next week. So this is all for next year. We're still working on our AMI water meters. It's taking longer than expected, as I told you the last couple of years. Most of it has to do with supply and demand. Other communities are doing the same thing. So it's just gonna take its time it takes to go through the process. After this year, I believe they told me we have at least one more year. If we don't actually get the meters, we don't spend the money, obviously. So that's part of the problem. Same thing with the electrical, we have about 2 more years. Same situation, everybody's ordering them, it's a supply and demand issue. We're looking at purchasing a couple new AEDs. We did that this cycle, we're doing it next cycle. We want every single city building to have AED in it. And then we're looking at other park facilities that can have AEDs that are either seasonal or that will be able to have them located that are outside but accessible but made to be outside because of the batteries and the cold temperature. Any questions while I'm doing this, please just raise it to the mayor. Yes?
I guess when it comes to talking about putting them outside, so imagine Myers Park or like maybe over there, what would the security be of the AED so that, you know, how would the public be able to get to it if they do need it? But we don't want every Tom, Dick, and Harry
Yeah,
messing with
so if it is
stuff.
outside, my understanding, they're connected to 911 when opened or broken. However we get into the device. Also alarm sounds, my understanding. So it's like anything, if somebody wants to destroy it, they're gonna destroy it. If they wanna mess with it, they're gonna mess with it. We'll also put them in areas where we're gonna have cameras as well. So in case we do have issues that happen, we can try to recoup those costs if possible. So we're not at that stage yet. We're only working inside the buildings at this point. One, you gotta do a little more investigating on AEDs that'll be on the outside and available to the people. Yeah, a little bit more research on that first.
Thank you. The meters, so we're not sitting on an inventory, we don't have any issue with people calling to schedule to get them put on. We just can't get enough from the manufacturers.
That's part of the problem. Some of it's also scheduling to some degree. Most of it is supply and demand.
Okay,
Yep, so a big chunk might come in at the wrong time. Let's say winter is kind of the wrong time.
sure.
And some of it has to do with when we have periods of lull time where we can actually work on it. And we're also scheduling some evening hours, because we understand that not everybody can take time off from work or are available during the daytime when DPW works. So they're all getting out there, it just takes the time to get them installed. Most of the electric ones are in. The water's the area where you're taking longer time, because it's meters, and there's like another little unit that goes on there, because it'll send information to the electric meter, which then sends it to City Hall. So basically, these meters can be read from City Hall rather than a reading unit out in the field. And they can be shut off from City Hall as well. So there's a couple streets we're gonna be working on, and there's 2 scenarios I'm gonna give you. So we wanna work on Hungerford, which will include sewer. Print Street, West Print Street, which will also include sewer. We're trying to get a certain kind of funding called Category B funding from MDOT. We'll know at the end of this month if we're gonna get it. It's $250,000 grant. If we get it, this street, Hungerford, and part of Ann Street will all be done with the sewer on Prince and Hungerford for about $900,000. If we do not get that grant, we're not gonna do anything to Ann Street, but we can do the sewer and we can do the paving project on West Prince and Hungerford. So that's what we're waiting on to see. So if we're able to, those will be the 3 streets that we'll be working on next year. If not, it'll just be 2. There's a Safe Routes to School grant that we received. We're gonna have to invest about $75,000 in engineering. And the rest of it, the money will be coming from the state of Michigan, to the tune of about $1 million. They'll be doing multiple new sidewalk segments, not old, but new. And we did all this work for a couple years with MDOT, their engineer, and the school district to determine where sidewalks should be placed throughout the community to create safe walking routes for students to the 3 different schools. Into this funding mechanism, some of that money will go to the schools for educational purposes, so on and so forth. This money is not coming directly to the city, it's just gonna be a pass-through through the department. So the work will get done through them sometime next year. They pick who does the paving and everything. We just have to do the engineering portion.
Nate,
Yes.
John?
thank you, Mr. Mayor. Or Pro Tem, Mr. Mayor. The colors there on the bottom photo, the green, the blue, the yellow.
Yes,
Can you tell us the distinctions there? Is some of that
sure, let me get over there.
repaved and some of that's new?
I can't read it very well.
I mean, it's like Baldwin only has sidewalk on one side of the road. Is it putting new sidewalk on the other side of the road? Is it?
Let me see,
It's not in our packet.
It's not in our.
That's
packet.
why I'm asking. No, sir.
oh, that's weird.
Mhm.
Oh.
Okay, just,
Is that copier again?
just,
We've been having some issues with the copy.
yeah, we're gonna
Seriously.
have to put that in here.
You'll get a better version.
Okay, just,
I don't remember
curious.
what this refers to.
yeah,
I can kind of read this one, something about middle school. I don't know if it was, I don't know exactly what it says. It might have different, priority levels, but we'll get you a better copy so you can see what that says. But basically, those in color are what's gonna be put in. And what you see, if it's on one side, it's only gonna go on one side. It wouldn't be on both. Otherwise, you'd see like this double, like over here.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The biggest change that will most likely occur in this project, it's part of the project, and I don't know if it's contingent upon this project, is over by Cherry Street, Mitchell Street, Baldwin, and Brown. That's proposed to become a 4-way stop. And that has to do with the school route, and that has to do with the ball field and trying to slow people down coming down that road. So that was proposed by the school and the parents to do that. So that's in this project right now. So that's probably gonna be a change that's gonna come forward. What will happen is, most likely you'll see a shift in traffic pattern a little bit. This depends, because you still gotta stop on Teal Lake Avenue, and if you have to stop there too, I don't know how that's gonna affect traffic patterns. My assumption is you might see a little bit less traffic on that road, Brown and Baldwin, but we'll have to see what happens. This is actually gonna be $5,000, so that wasn't able to be changed in time. Our staff is gonna put a couple, ADA, concrete pads down in both, over by Teal Lake Beach and over by Bernie Rivers Field for these, ADA and porta johns. One of the issues we're having is we put these ADA porta johns out, and they're not actually technically legal, because you can't get your wheelchair to them. Some of them are down in like a gully. It doesn't make sense. So our guys, for about $5,000, can pour a couple pads, and then we'll have those out there forever, and we'll be able to put these facilities on there for people to use properly.
Why are we paying for porta johns when we could put a vault toilet in there and have it be handicap accessible all year long?
That's a good idea, except it would be astronomical, put in a vault toilet for part of the year. So just the one they put over in, Gawney Township, I don't remember if that one was like $65,000 just to put that one in. So it's kind of expensive. So this is kind of a stopgap measure, just to make the dollars and cents work for now. The goal eventually will be to put better toilet facilities over there, but right now it's just not affordable, unfortunately. Also, we'll be putting about $20,000 in sidewalks. Our staff will be doing that. So we have a number of sidewalks obviously that need to be replaced. We have a schematic that shows all the bad sidewalks. We'll just go find $20,000 worth of sidewalk to replace. And my guys say that that can go a long ways. You can get a lot of sidewalk done with that. We're unable to do the garage door this year. So if that's still able to be done this year, we'll see. Probably not. But eventually, we would like to go forward and put that garage door on the fire department where we put in the secondary pad. There's some work in rearranging in the building that needs to occur. This will just help the trucks be able to come in and out of the back bay that's kind of along Rail Street. There used to be a door there many years ago, and I don't know, they took it out because they are using different facilities with different vehicles now. But now they like to put it back if they can. And that's it. No, not a lot of major projects this year. We're kind of in a recovery mode, slowing down, less money spent, so on and so forth. Those will all be reflected in your budget that you'll be getting on Tuesday. Are there any further questions about the capital improvements plan? All right. So now we're gonna go into the City of Negaunee fee schedule, this staple document you all got here. We'll go page by page to see if you have a question. If I don't have a comment on anything, I just think my opinion of the matter on that page means that it's insignificant, not worth mentioning. But if you have a question on anything, what you'll see is all the old or current fees are in non-bolded lettering. The bolded number next to it, to the right, shows a reflection in change for next year. So we're on the second page.
So you're saying we got two sets of numbers here?
Just anything in bold is.
Yeah, so everything on the left-hand side is current, anything bolded on the right, that's brand new. That's what's being proposed anyway. Okay, so we're on page 2 of 14. I don't have any comments on this page. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, John?
My only question was that the return check charge went down?
Brian can answer.
We'll ask the treasurer to respond.
So yeah, I was
That's
doing
great news.
yeah, I was doing some homework during a collections process, and I found a state law that actually limits that charge to 25.
Okay.
So yeah, we
You'll
kind of
be
need to do
compliant
adjust
with
it. Right.
Good plan. Thank you.
Moving on to the next page. This mostly has to do with the cemetery. I don't have any specific comments on this. Does anybody have any questions? Moving on to the next page. Some of this still has cemetery on it. which I have no comments on the cemetery. And then the other bottom part has electrical rates. We're not gonna see our electrical rates increased under this document. Also, you'll see a slight increase in the low-income energy assistance fund. I believe that falls in line with state regulations. So it's moving from 88 cents to $1.25. That's money that's collected, I believe, out of each bill. And it gets pooled into the state fund, and then people have a hard time paying their bills, can lean on that fund if they want to. Negaunee residents do benefit from that to some degree. Moving on to page 5, there are no changes here, this has to do with electrical. Moving on to page 6, the numbers are a little bit
Yeah.
wonky, so sorry
We'll
about
get
that.
that fixed.
This still has to do with electrical services. You'll see a couple changes under security lighting. I don't have any comments on this. Moving on to the next page. Deals with primarily ice arena. Burn permit. Minor changes, I have no comments on this as well. Any questions? Moving on to the next page, more ice arena,
There is a typo at the bottom of this one, Nate.
okay?
Where it says Miners Park Pavilion. $50 for 4 hours and $30 for 2. The line right below it that says Miners Park, scratch that off. It just should say $50 for 4 hours.
And we'll get you an updated version of this,
Absolutely.
that correction. I have no specific comments on this. Moving on to the next page. Still the farmer's market. Library fees. I have no comments on this as well.
This one, page 10, I'm gonna put right-of-way permits. This needs to be added, the right-of-way permits.
Ann's handing out a supplement to you, which will be included. This has to do with what they call road permits, which is right-of-way. So what we're doing here is the city for many years has had people not get right-of-way permits or not put any deposits down and finish the work that they promised they would do under their right-of-way permit. So now we're collecting deposits. So if the work is not completed, the city will have a way to recoup costs to make those repairs on behalf of the person who did not make those repairs. So you can see we have in advance work, $100 deposit, working without a permit, $250 deposit, which is
Plus
probably
deposit.
plus deposit. In conjunction with the water sewer inspection, you can see here. And then if you're doing an alleyway, $500 on your, like a approach to your driveway or approach to your garage. A local street, 1,000, major street, 2,000, and a state route would be 4,000. Because ultimately, we have to make those repairs if those people do not. If they do, they get the money back, no problem.
This is only for work in right away?
In the right of ways, yep. All right. We're going past the planning and zoning and planning divisions, because there's no changes there. Now we're to the police department at the top of the page. There are no changes there. Next page after, you'll see in the middle, it says parking permit fees. There's no changes on that. And then you go to the middle of the page where it says solid waste disposal. So that's garbage. Garbage rates are gonna move from $18.54 a month to $24.53 a month. If you guys vote to approve the next proposed and suggested by the staff GFL contract. Why is it so high? We usually don't go up that high. It's because the tipping fees have increased exponentially at the Marquette County landfill where we have no control. They have projects and they have to make their budget meet state standards as well. And then they have some additional services they're providing, recycling and some other stuff they're doing. So no matter what, those costs are being pushed on us. So overall, we're gonna see per household $5.99 increase in trash service. That equates to $71.88 per year overall for that service. Their first question, can we go somewhere else? No, we can't, because we belong to that, no, so unfortunately it is what it is. I'm hoping we don't see additional costs. They unfortunately have increased their costs quite a bit, in my opinion, over the past few years. When I first got here, I think garbage was only $15 per month. And 8 years later, we're at 18, and now we're at 24. So you can see it's increased, in my opinion, the most and fastest than all of our utility bills.
It's
So-
more than doubled in the last 10 years.
Well,
It used to
no,
be less than 10.
well, I don't know about 10 years, so
Yeah,
I don't know what it was then.
maybe 15 years.
But 15 when I got here,
Yeah.
so. But I want to point that out to you. You'll be seeing that contract and bid document for GFL and the other bidders at the next meeting. That's when we'll vote on whether to accept that contract. And we'll get the nuances of that contract at that meeting. So just give you heads up on this. Next page. Water rates. Those two are gonna go up. Cost of services for the city has increased. And there's been a little bit of increase at Iowa as well, I believe. Well, I'm confusing that, right?
Are you on wastewater or
I'm
water?
on water.
So water is Iowa. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you got it.
okay, so what's gonna happen is, right now, our meter charge will go up from $39.93 a month, that's what most people have, to $43.88. That's a $2.94 per month increase, which equates to $35.28 per year. So not too terrible, but it is an increase. In addition to that, you'll see an increase per 1,000 gallons of water. Right now, our rate is $8.20 per 1,000 gallons of water. That'll get moved up to $8.55. So not too bad, but a little bit of an increase there. This helps cover our fixed costs to operate the system. And then lastly, under the sewer, you'll see where it says, water, excuse me, where it says water rates at the bottom of the page. You'll see in that first column, meter size, 5/8 and 3/4. Right now it says 2025 rate was 21.16. If you recall, a couple of months, I think it was after we approved the budget, Iowa actually passed on a significant rate increase to us. So we had to increase that rate ourselves. So currently, our rate is $24.54. It's been that way for 8 or 7 months, I believe, I don't know exactly. But what we're gonna suggest is moving that from $24.54 to $27.48, which would be a $3.95 increase per month per household, for an increase of $47.40 per household per year. With those three increases, each home, on average, we paid an additional $154.54 for the full year. So that's the worst of the news.
Can we get a clarification here,
Yes,
Mr. Mayor? Water rates there at the bottom of page 13. In the table, meter size, the first column says 5/8 and 3/4, and then it says 3/4 again immediately below that. So I'm
Yes.
assuming that that first row is really just for 5/8.
I believe some of them can actually be 5/8 on one side and 3/4 on the other, if I remember right how it works. So I think it's like a step down system.
Gotcha.
If I
So
remember
you might
right.
be billed one rate this side and one rate that.
Well, no, but that's the rate, because you're only getting in, I believe, a 5/8 line, but then you're opening up to a 3/4 house. So I think you're only getting charged the 5/8, the smaller lateral size, if I recall correctly. And then there's one that's just 3/4 all the way through.
so a larger fee coming in gets charged more, because there's more volume.
Okay.
Yep. And then the other thing I'll note too is per thousand gallons of water, we charge $11.03 now. We're suggesting it to go up to $11.23, so a 20-cent increase per thousand.
In the fourth, paragraph, there's one that does say 1103, that should be 1123 as well. In the last paragraph, use of city
Use of
hydrants, cross out 1103, and that should be 1123.
And that's that. So, well, over the past few years, I should say several, we've done a really good job of not passing on large increases. Since I've been here, this is probably our largest increase that we're gonna see overall. And again, it's the times that we're in, everything is going up in price. And then some of this stuff is very uncontrollable to us. Fortunately, it's not as bad as it could be, because originally we were seeing roughly about a $300 per household increase. And now we're only seeing $154. And those are directly related to services that people use. So it's not like we're putting extra cost on there to get extra money from them. It's just covering the expenses up front, what it would cost them regardless. So, are there any specific questions relating to the fee schedule?
I guess so with no questions, let's not move on to number 7, public comment. That was a short session for the part. Okay, council comments. So, start with you, Amanda.
Well, it's a bummer that things are going up all around, but I think that's just the world today. We're seeing that everywhere, not just in our city bills, but in our groceries and gas and I know for my business, my supply costs are twice as much as they were 5 years ago, so it is what it is. We'll press on.
Tracy? Matt?
I got nothing, Dave.
John?
I just want to say congrats and thank you to everybody for their contributions to make Fall Fest a success. It was a really fantastic event, really well received. Thousands of people, I would say, that were downtown. And I'd say the only thing negative that I noticed, I didn't hear it from anybody, but I noticed that on Sunday the garbages were still all there and all overflowing. And I know that's because we don't have people on Sunday to handle that, but maybe that's a cost that we should build in. Maybe the DDA can work at including that for the future so that gets cleaned up.
We get more trash cans.
Yeah, and it's just something I noticed, but the event itself I thought was fantastic, and that's all I heard from people all day long. Appreciate it.
As for myself, Fall Fest, like John said, went off really well. I was by the a bouncy area, and, it's kind of, when I was with the Lions, we were, keeping control of the equipment. Control, I use that term very loosely. Well, it was crazy. But the kids had a good time. We, like I said, the Lions, we had a kids site trailer, and a lot of kids were getting their eyes checked. And I was the first one to get their eyes checked. And there's 3 categories. 1, you probably should get your eyes checked. 2, get your eyes checked. And 3, why are you driving? So pretty much, I felt number 2 and number 3. So, but for the most part, that was a fun day. And another tidbit here I learned, a relative of mine lived in Ishpeming, and he passed away. And because I was the only relative close, so I was made the executor of the estate. So I'm like, okay, fine. So we're cleaning out the house and all that, and he had a lot of medications. He was like sickly man. So like, okay, so we put him in a small bucket, and I think, okay, bring him to the police department. So I brought him to the police department, and I talked to Craig. This says, Dave, we can't take these anymore. You gotta go to either Marquette, I think, or Chocolate Township, I think. So if you ever come across that situation, I guess those are the 2 places to bring them to. So I learned something new. So other than that, that's pretty much it for me. So, city manager?
No comment.
Okay, so I guess.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, Matt, second? Okay. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against?